Good morning, my people. It's your boy, Lord ZXinfinite, and today I'm here for another RHC. Pretty quick one. A lot of this stuff's pretty self-explanatory, so it's just gonna be a quick roast. Hope you have a legendary grand day, and of course, it's not gonna be a negative video. It's just people not doing research and just simple facts that anybody with common sense would know. And it's just the same like baby style arguments, the same thing that Joshua does, because that's his level of intelligence. It's just some baby crying, whining type of comments, still crying about all this stuff years ago. It's wild. But so let's see here. We got Harley under here. That's funny. Anyway, so basically all I did was quit Call of Duty, and I guess they got upset because I quit. I don't know. So I guess they want me to do esports and stuff. So, there's a chance I'll come back, since I got real fans wanting me to still play. After I 1v1'd them and beat them, I feel like, of course, that's probably, one of the main reasons why they want me to, go out there and freaking show them, the reason why I beat them in 1v1s, and basically beat other people in 1v1s, 1v2s, 1v3s, 1v4, 1v, etc. They want more of, that, and they want to see more. So, being a fan, I mean, from their perspective, I understand, but I'm done with Call of Duty, and I'm done with esports and competitive. I was being sarcastic and joking, but I'm done with the game. Like, there's more to life than Call of Duty, and to this day, I'd hope and wish that freaking the little gamer group of stormtroopers and COD zombies combined could see that. But, it is what it is. But, as I make this quick video here, it makes me very genuinely confused why Call of Duty matters so much, There's so many other games out there. Even Minecraft's an option, or Pokemon or something like that. And, there's a lot of options of games and stuff, but I guess we just don't think about that. We don't think about Call of Duty. And yeah, they wake up and go to sleep every day thinking of Call of Duty, and their whole life's about Call of Duty. But they might, upload or make videos on Minecraft or, Pokemon and stuff, but they don't like it that much. And even Legend of Zelda, they don't like it that much. They like Call of Duty the most. Let's be realistic. Because if they didn't care about Call of Duty, as much as they act like they don't, because they say they don't care about Call of Duty, maybe. Let's just say they did, for an example. If they said that they didn't care about Call of Duty that much, then they wouldn't be still talking about 1v1s they lost like 8-9 years ago. But I guess we're still here, so I mean, I would agree with them and be like, yeah, you're right, but it makes it the complete opposite answer. If they are wrong, the more they're still on my channel, because that's where it all stems from. They can't be mad at me for any other reason or emotional. And everything that had to do with all those other people that didn't like me, whether it's Dark Mario or freaking Joshua Alpha Shadowhawk clone or anything else, the only thing they can call out is Call of Duty, them losing in Call of Duty, because they don't know me in real life. And even then, like, there's nothing to call me out for. No one cares. That's why they're the only ones in the comments saying this stuff, and the only people agreeing. So, let's just be realistic about it. But I don't even play Call of Duty anymore, so I don't see why it's still an issue. Like, why they're so mad about, their favorite game that they've ever played. Joshua says he likes Legend of Zelda. Nah, he likes Call of Duty. He loves Call of Duty. He put more Call of Duty on his channel than Legend of Zelda. I will guarantee you that right now. And technically you could say so have I, but it's a grindy game, so. And obviously I'm going in completely roasting and obliterating them. And I would have a platform for them to speak for themselves, but they're too scared for some reason. They're born as the most like unconfident, like no courage at all, no masculinity. So they're too scared and too puny to be, a man for the first day in their life, and an adult, a full-grown man, full-grown adult, and actually, want to debate something like that, or, go on a call. They just want to, talk about how they've done these things, or they're good at this or this, but not show any proof evidence. They'll just talk about it. But, you know, they just don't want to do a debate, phone call, and prove that everything they've been saying is right, while I've been disproving them by not even needing to show proof and evidence, because that's how much they've been losing. And like I said, I don't care if they lose. I could care less. So the first comment we have here just says some random stuff that a peasant would say. I mean, you know, when you're ruled over by someone who beat you in a 1v1 and they're ruling over you, I mean, you just gotta let it go. You feel me? You just gotta scroll on. That's what you gotta do. You lost the 1v1, Modern Warfare 2019, Black Ops 3, twice, because you let someone join. And I was in the lead the first time, and I was in the lead the second time, and 2 kills at the last kills. There was no excuse for that. So you can say how it was my friend or freaking whatever, but then you realize as host, I put it on invite only. So no matter what, you can try to, you know, make it seem like it wasn't you the whole time all you want, but then when it comes down to it, if it's on invite only and I invite you and we're the only ones in the lobby, and the whole time I'm 1v1ing you, I'm roasting you in words, and I beat you twice in a row, but the first time I was already beating you and in the lead, and then in the midst of the match or whenever you invite someone, or your party privacy is open or friends only or something. So it's like, no matter what, you can't blame me for something that, firstly, I don't really care, but when it comes down to it, it's like, you know that wouldn't happen if it weren't for what you did. And not just that, to make it even funnier and better, not only was I playing the game the whole time and not inviting anybody or nothing like that, because like I said, why would I invite someone that I'm not 1v1? Why would I invite spectators? You know, the whole point was to shut the guy up, and that's what I did for years. And I mean, you know, obviously he's in the comments still and still mad and emotional and crying, but not just that, but it's someone that I don't even recognize. So, you know, even if I did invite people or whatever, if it was someone I knew, I mean, there's no way that someone could have joined me that I didn't know. That's just, there's no chance of it happening. So I knew, and ever since then, I already knew it wasn't my fault. So that's the part I find hilarious. But moving on. And I don't even play that game no more. So, I mean, you can talk about a game I don't play, but have at it all you want. But, you know, no matter what, we both remember who won those 1v1s. You can delete them because it's stored in our memory bank. So, stored in the memory. And I guarantee that you remember, and I remember, who won on those fateful days. So, you could talk about, you know, whatever makes you, you know, feel better and cope with it by, you know, getting mad at me because I won. But I could care less then and even now. Maybe even more or less now because I don't play the game no more. So, you know, it speaks for yourself. So I commented freeloading. So we're talking about the Alpha Shadow Hot Clone. Yeah, that alien shouldn't exist. That's the result of people stealing ideas and not knowing what to do with it. I mean, I could have went on and continued to talk about points that I've already made. I mean, like, when you are the, like, definition of freeloader and talking about, like, airing out dirty laundry and all this other stuff and talking about echo chamber, it's like, bro, you know your situation quite well, but do you know mine? No, because he doesn't know me in real life, but he definitely explained his own situation, where he's at and where he's in, because he's in that place of talking to nobody, and it just echoes to himself because he's the only one who comments in his own comments. The Alpha Shadow Hot Clone is just a kid that hasn't grown up. And I mean, let's just be real, like, that's what it is. I mean, if he's so easily okay with having the overweight one around, Ivy, but he has such an issue with me being around, like, the whole problem he had with me by the way, because I'm not ex-Deadlies no more. This isn't 2016. I know Joshua, the Alpha Shadow Hot Clone, can't accept that and admit that. But this isn't 2016, 2017 no more. I'm not playing that character. So he can't blame me for stuff that, firstly, never happened, and either never happened or stuff that just was not that serious or deep, and he's over-dramatizing it. He just misunderstands what it takes to be a freaking, you know, in Call of Duty clans and stuff like that. And if you couldn't even complete yourself being a member, you sure as heck will never ever be a leader like myself. And I've played both positions. I've been a member, I've been a leader, I've been a freaking graphic designer. And it's like, the kid, right, will buy a graphic designer for his logo, but then won't even hire an editor for his videos. So it's freaking wild to me. Whether he got that logo for free, at least edit your videos and show some type of productiveness. I mean, it's not hard to do. I don't see how it's hard to do these things if you say you're so good at them and you say you're better and all this stuff, but you don't even do all of them yourself. You didn't make that graphic design. I know you didn't. It doesn't matter how many years of schooling you're going to go to in college. That is not your logo. That is not your name. That is not your colors. You're supporting and showing FaZe Jev's colors. You're supporting and showing my gamer tag, a username that I made alt to Elite Killer Blade when I first even started. You're showing a freaking logo from some random person that you probably got it for free because, oh, you're so nice to them and you're such a good guy, and that's your image, and you don't want to mess that up at all. Just don't screw it up by making a 26-minute mental breakdown and psychotic meltdown. Don't do that. You don't want to ruin your whole entire image and portrayal of yourself that you've been making for so many years, acting like you're the good guy and you got screwed over by me. That's very, very opposite. And if we're just two polar opposite people, then maybe you should do stuff you like and not do YouTube and Call of Duty and all the stuff that I like, and maybe start going in your own lane, because that's sus and fruity, bro, and sweet. And I like freaking females, so I know some people in the little gaming group of stormtroopers and COD zombies combined don't want to admit that or accept it. I mean, they're in my comments every day, so they don't want to admit it or accept it, but at some point all of them gotta freaking accept it, because they can keep trying, but it's something that people should know that I don't do. Next one is apparently I thought or I invented the X and Z in my gamer tag, and I don't know what the heck he's talking about, because I never said I invented that at all. I invented roast tracks, yeah, but I never claimed once that I invented the X and ZZ. I made the idea of the ZZ, so yeah, that was something I invented when I made the gamer tag. And then FaZe Jev was my inspiration. His gamer tag X Jev. That's the reason I had X and Deadlies. Like, that's the whole point. Just like how Joshua's the Alpha Shadow Hot Clone's favorite color is all of a sudden now pink. Yeah, I mean, let's be completely realistic of where he got that from. It's so sad that I freaking led that kid on such a just where he's at now. It's so freaking pathetic. I feel so bad for all the content creators who actually grind out there, and all those people who actually hit clips and quad feeds and trick shots, and all those people who actually put in the work for someone so lazy to just throw in all their money and reap the rewards. It's sad, but like he said himself, or whatever that alien is, the Alpha Shadow Hot Clone, like he said himself, karma does exist, and it absolutely does exist. So if he knows it, but a lot of the things when life happens, the thing is, karma won't hit everybody, and in one way or another. So it sometimes is just like, that's just life though. So it all comes down to stuff happens when you're not being yourself, and he will never understand that, it seems like. He's so much a clone and not himself, to the point where I just listed off his entire channel, where the colors are from, where the name is from. Like, I've been had proven that this guy has been a fraud since day one, and there is no day one for him. He's just been cloning and acting like he started all this stuff, wants to delete all the footage and videos that me and him had, and acting like he didn't just show my name in an old video, Super Smash Bros. Melee. And then talking about it with his friends. They don't know me, so they don't care. And because you know me, you want to make the content on me, even though you said you want nothing to do with me, but then you're going to go ahead and make a video of us playing back in the day. Kid's just not in his right freaking headspace. But, yeah, anyways, the last one, it says, failed clickbait. Keep telling people you will quit and then you don't. Oh, and I think you should make an update video on that uncomfortable thing that happened to you many years ago. So I don't know what he's talking about, but I do know there's one thing, and I don't know if it's true or not, but basically, so something happened with the Alpha Shadow Hot Clone Joshua, right? And it was with his brother and his dad, and they were homies one day or something, and I don't know, I guess something might have happened, and so I don't know, but yeah, he said he didn't really elaborate on what it is, kind of, but he said that, and I guess they're trying to make it, like I said, this is the most Joshua level, Alpha Shadow Hot Clone type level freaking kid stuff, immaturity, and it's just, it's weird when people and it's cringe, because freaking when I get these comments, It's like that's not gonna pertain to me or affect me in any way when you, or like anything. Like your goal of what you're trying to do does because you're in the wrong doesn't make me in the wrong because I didn't do all those things like you did. So like you trying to use that against me just doesn't work. I know that, you know, it's your logic and that's how you're going into things, but that's not how reality works. And I've talked about it. I've talked about uncomfortable situations. And in my, I think, 7th interview, 7th or 8th, I think it's probably my 7th or 8th, one of those. The most recent one I did here, I haven't done one since, you know, that time. I talked about an uncomfortable situation. That, you know, there's uncomfortable situation that I can't even bring up on YouTube. Like that's how in detail and like graphic they are. You know, I guess I could use that word. I don't know if that's the right word, but you know, there's all kinds of stuff I could talk about, but that's not going to change the situation. I'm still the best Call of Duty player anybody's ever seen because I beat them in 1v1s, and that, just with that, that's all I need. Like, I'm leaving Call of Duty with my wins. That's that. But no, nobody cares that much about if it was clickbait and I quit and then not. I was semi-quitting, and I've already explained this, but since some people are just, you know, senseless, or whatever it's called, or sensitive, yeah. Since some people are sensitive and they just don't want to, you know, be a man about things, and lack the brain of a average normal human being, basically, I made a video like a couple months ago, 3 months ago, I don't know, and it was saying that I was gonna quit Call of Duty, and it was supposed to be the last day I was gonna play, but then I was like, you know what, nah, I changed my mind, and I wanted something to do, so I started playing Call of Duty again, and then I changed my mind. I talked about it already. This is stuff like if you kept up and did your research, this is why I say do your research to them. If you do your research, you would have your answer and you wouldn't be commenting all this stuff that makes you look stupid and makes you look unintelligent. I mean, let's just be real. Like, you gotta just do the research and you wouldn't embarrass yourself. But it wouldn't matter if nobody knows who you are, right? So, you know, even though everybody knows who they are. So, anyway, so, freaking, where it all comes down to, oh shoot, hold on, is that was a semi-quitting video, and I say semi because it was, but it didn't turn out to not be, and then, you know, I did play for like a couple more months or so, and then now we're here, and then I actually officially did quit this time. So, I mean, it never mattered to me, and it doesn't matter to my fans, friends, family, homies, all my people. No one's complained about it. No one cares that much, because they understand. Said it once, they understand. And I know you have to say things multiple times to the Alpha Shadow Hawk clone, Joshua, for him to understand, because he doesn't really get there right away. You know, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, and not the brightest, but, and so is like little friend group or whatever, you know, they're not, you know, the smartest people of all time. I mean, that's why they're grouped up with each other, because that's how much it takes to get one thought in. You know, they have to have a group discussion to figure out the most easiest common sense question of all time. They need a whole group to figure out, like a group project, while as I do way more than that every single day. So it pretty much is just very explanatory things. I don't know what's not to understand here. Very easy to understand, but, you know, if you don't do the research, and you know, if you lost and you are losing, not really anything that I could do to help you. So make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. You already know what it is. Peace, love, prosperity, positivity, all day, every day. That's what it is. That's what I go by, and that is everything. Legendary Entertainment. So it's been your boy Lord ZXI, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.